So I joined the CEO Sanctuary at a very pivotal time of my life, because it was a time when I was making very critical decisions on what do I need to do and then how do I need to reposition myself from business perspective, and then also because I was in a stage where I was making a full transition from 9 to 5 jobs to become a full entrepreneur. So it was quite a really an interesting moment for me on understanding what is the right shift, how do I make that move, and how do I make sure that I build the company that I've always dreamed to build, especially that I was fully transitioning to be an entrepreneur. I mean, what does that really mean? And I hadn't, and because it was in that period, I was really looking to hear or learn from different individuals who have been in entrepreneurship for quite some time as well, so that I can learn something from them. Yeah, I mean, it's a few aha moments actually, but the what CEO Sanctuary does is that you have someone like Adol who is really experienced in leadership that can guide you, but you also have the other different entrepreneurs that are running things that you get to see on daily basis, and they are going through the same challenges that's the same as you're going through, and just being with them, understanding how you have same problem but in different context, right? So asking those type of questions, it becomes really interesting. But my most interesting moment is when Adele shared with us 5 things we should do before the year ends as entrepreneur. And I looked at them, I was like, I wish I can do all of these 5 things, but let me just pick 2 that I can do now. And I picked 2 things. One, I can maybe share one. And then one of the things that I picked was to reward or acknowledge my top 5 clients. And before year ends, we made a really good thank message, customized gift for every single client that we work with, and then share that to them. And it was the first time I do this in my business, and I was really shocked, and way on how they perceived it, in terms of understanding how much we value them. But also the most surprising way was it ended up by becoming also an avenue for us, a revenue generation avenue for us, because when we did this customizing gifts as an agency, so we did make our touch on it. And then after that, in the last quarter, I've had many clients say, "Oh, Malik, you know that gift you made for us? We need you to do this now for our client as well." So it reached a revenue generation that we never planned at all. But just a small thing, really. But for me, that means a lot in the sense of, yes, you're working with people, but your relationship is not just transactional, but making them acknowledge and acknowledging them. It's quite really important. The CEO Sanctuary is unfiltered. It's an unfiltered group, right? So people share their emotions, people share their feelings, and also they tell you exactly what they think about what you're doing, right? So and And these are the people that you don't know, by the way, you just met, right? You ended up by building a good relationship eventually, but they are the people that you just met. And hearing a different perspective from another entrepreneur to your business, it's an opening eye on its own. So, and really, it's different when you're just having one-on-one mentorship, because sometimes there's a very nice moment, etc. But with the sanctuary, you just get it raw, you know, you get it unfiltered, and it's coming from someone who is doing exactly the same. There might be, you say something like, "I'm spotting a red flag there," and they're like, "Think about this." So it's kind really more of like those eye-opening moments in that perspective. Yeah, I mean, it's helped me. One, in the sense of, again, when we were discussing on things that we need to do before year end. So one of the things we were supposed to do that actually as well I practiced was to acknowledge your top talent, and then ask them questions of what you to keep them, right? Obviously, sometimes it's not just about the money, or sometimes you think it's about money and it's more than that. Again, that has been really, really good for me to practice by speaking to my top talents, understand where they are, what can I do to develop them more, what are they missing, and then also, even not just top talents, the future top talents, right? Having conversation with them to understand how do I take them from one phase to another. You know, that I think it's a sake song, not only at the top. Um, so it's I love that song so much because it speaks to me, and really running a business is super lonely, you know, because it's a fake it until you make it moment. You talk to your employers, sorry, your employees, you have to show them that you've got it. Sometimes your friends don't understand what you do. Even when they understand, you just do not want to always bother with them with all your problems, right? And you really find yourself a lot in a very lonely moment, and sometimes you don't even know that you're not lonely, because you feel like you are surrounded, but who are you surrounded with, and then what type of conversation are you having with? So being in a such small circle, trusted circle like the CEO sanctuary, it actually really, this is the one moment that shows that leading a business, it can be lonely, but it's worth taking a pause, and then being in places like the CEO sanctuary, where you don't feel lonely. You feel like your conversation, what you're doing, it's not just about how you feel. You're not the only person that is feeling the same, and there is someone not just even in your across the border, miles, thousands of miles away, that is exactly going through the same as what you are going through. And it's an emotional moment sometimes as well, so, because people are very, very candid. And sometimes you need that place, you know, you need punching boxes as an entrepreneur. So when you get then people that allows you to be your punching boxes, and then it's really helpful in a sense. So I would say, please, do not allow yourself to be lonely at the top. There are other people that are lonely, but are willing to share. So, and then if you meet, none of you is lonely anymore.